Hey YouTube, today I wanted to show you guys a model in Ford's lineup that really takes you back in time. If you can believe it or not, this is a brand new 2011 Ford Ranger XLT Super Cab pickup truck. Now 2011 is actually the last year for this car, and this color is called Vista Blue Metallic. It's a nice color, but man, driving this car around really takes you back in time. The Ranger really hasn't been changed much since it was last redesigned, I believe, in 1998. And even though this car is a 2011, it drives like a car built in the 90s. This one is a pretty much, it's a loaded up Ranger. It's got a sticker price about $24. Of course, you can still load it up even more. This one has the 4-liter V6 with the 5-speed auto from the old Explorer. The interior reminds you of these Explorers from the past, of the 90s Explorers, the ones that were really popular. You can see 24,985 is the sticker. Pretty much has the 5-speed auto, tinted windows in the back, leather up steering wheel, cruise control, 1520 is your MPG. We actually have 3 Rangers left. This one, and then we have 2 others. The other one's a gray V6, and then we also have a 4-cylinder as well. And I mean, driving this car over here, it really does take you back in time, but it's not like this truck doesn't drive bad. It's a pretty nimble little truck. And it has decent power. Of course, the old 4-liter V6 is a little bit of a noisy engine, but it gets the job done. And this truck is pretty cheap. There's a lot of incentives on it, and this one just has the Steelies on it. You can see there's old Ford right there with the door lock tab. The engine actually comes from Germany in this car, and the transmission comes from France. Interesting. This one is the Super Cab, so it does have little half doors with these little jump seats right here. Wow. That's I'd hate to. I guess you're gonna put people back there who you don't like and sit back here. No bed liner in the truck or anything. It's just a pretty basic truck, pretty basic work truck. Here you can see the interior in here. It really does take you back to 90s Ford. This one has about 74 miles on it. It's one of the last 11s on our lot. I mean, it's got this column-mounted shifter with that old-school Ford indicator, old-school Ford radio, these old-school climate controls. Like, this car really just takes you back in time. They really haven't updated this car's interior much other than the steering wheel is a new steering wheel design. The radio is probably a little bit different. It's got traction control now. I'm not sure if it has stability control. It looks like just traction control. Power windows, door locks, power mirrors. This is a nice fabric material here, but it's all hard plastic right here. It's somewhat padded here on the armrest, but not really. The dashboard, surprisingly, is soft touch. That's a little bit of old Ford for you. Soft touch dash. That airbag, it has an airbag cover that's not totally flush. New cars today have a flush airbag cover. The headliner actually is this pretty decent material, and this is actually metal right here. So you can see this car is an older design. It's very trucky to drive this car, but it's not a big feeling truck or anything. You can see that the engine shakes the chassis when you're revving it a little bit. It's not a very refined engine. It doesn't like to be revved. So don't rev this engine up, it doesn't like it. Let's open the hood and you guys can see the old 4-liter V6. Since this car's out of production, Ford doesn't make this engine anymore. There we go, the good old 4-liter single overhead cam V6 makes 207 horsepower, I think, in this car. 210 in the Explorer and Mustang, but I think this car makes 207. Heavy hood. One thing I like about American cars is you can turn on the fog lights with just the parking lights. Japanese cars, like my Fit, doesn't let me do that. But I notice American cars let you do that. It's a nice little feature. I mean, it's a shame Ford's discontinuing this truck. It's weird to me because they're introducing a new one in other countries. It's a nice center console there. But America doesn't get a new one. And I feel like, oh, there's an aux jack in here, so that's surprising. I feel like Ford should really redesign this truck because there are still people who who look for Rangers, there's a lot of loyal customers to this car. Of course, it's raining today, but I'll show you guys a little quick test drive. It's just, this car is like a time machine. It takes you back in time to an old era of Ford in the 90s. I mean, it's a nimble little truck. I mean, I have driven a Tacoma, and I can tell you the Tacoma is a little bit more refined. It's a newer design. This isn't a bad truck. It doesn't drive horribly. I mean, I can see why people just use this car as a work truck. The spacing and the gears are really close. I mean, this drivetrain's really familiar. It's what the old Explorer had, 5-speed auto, the old Mustangs used to have. It gets the car up to speed decently. And the visibility's good. This car doesn't feel huge. That's what I think that's part of the appeal for this truck. It doesn't feel big. It's a nimble little truck. The ride is a little bit unsettling, but that's all trucks are like that. You got to put stuff in the back or in the bed to really make the ride settle down. But anyways, guys, if you guys are in the market for one of the last new 2011 Rangers, get them while you can, because they're going fast and there's some good incentives, and it's a decent little work truck if you don't really care about having all the new features and whatnot. But thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.